And it says we're live.
We'll see. It lies.
Yeah. Well, at least we have somebody watching.
We do?
Yeah, three somebodies.
Oh,
Hello, whoever you are. Welcome.
can't believe they're not in the chat.
Yeah. It's hot here.
Yeah, no kidding.
100 degrees, 51% humidity. And the wet bulb is already heat index of 105. Hey, Wayne. Wayne's here.
Hey! Oh, you should have him send you pictures of his dad.
Oh.
Yeah, his dad took another tumble today.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
The guy's better at following the entire Romanian gymnastic team.
Yeah, Cuomo is apparently resigning in 14 days.
We'll see. He's announced he'll resign in 14 days. We'll see.
But apparently there is still a move afoot to impeach his ass before then.
Or after, I don't care.
Yeah. Hey, Jesse. Yeah, just enough rain to keep the humidity up is getting old. Yes, it is.
I wore the shirt, I promise.
Yeah.
Hot pink and black.
Yeah. Yeah, that's colorful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Mid guns.
It's all on him. I have nothing to do with that.
You got the two of them? Wow.
Yeah. Well, there's somebody else lurking, which is not unusual.
Okay.
It takes a real man to wear hot pink. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, there's hot pink and then there's hot pink. Hey, Sarah, Cedar. Y'all made it. Good to see you. One of the more interesting things. Yeah, Sarah likes the shirt.
Good.
Does not surprise me. Is
I think the 45 is fine something with it. No, they're Brent 10s. I think they're Brent 10s.
Yeah. The Dems have come out.
Brett
Jessica goes, "You skinned Pinky."
And turned him into a t-shirt.
The Dems have actually come out with their new $3.5 trillion quote unquote human infrastructure bill, which they are determined to ram through in spite of opposition because the Republicans are not going to vote for it. Apparently, they got the infrastructure bill, the actual infrastructure bill, through today, and I don't know what the vote count was on that yet.
Well, there are issues that I'm really not happy about that infrastructure bill.
Yeah, well, child tax benefit, universal pre-K, paid family and medical leave, tuition-free community college, lower prescription drug costs. Didn't Trump do that and then they jacked it back up when they took over?
Well, what annoys me is the mandate within 3 years for every car to have an active alcohol interlock device.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And the requirement that they report mileage is going to be even better. So other things in the new bill is a major climate dollars, immigration, lower Medicare age, an Obamacare expansion, increased physical supply, quote, quote, too many climate and clean energy summarize. And they're going to get new revenue from, quote, beefed up IRS tax enforcement, taxing the rich, taxing corporations, and this is interesting, fees on polluters.
Also, apparently, they're taking a long, hard look at retirement plans over a certain amount.
Yes. Sarah, I believe the PRO Act is still in there. I have not dug into it. Yeah, Cedar, old cars are in your future.
93 Ford Bronco.
Yeah.
If I can find a 93 Ford Bronco, I'll jump on that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. This, and I think we actually talked about this last Thursday, but this was originally a plan from California to use ODB2 back in the day to write speeding tickets
Mhm.
and to get all the old cars off the road. So,
And what some of the people don't understand, the ODB, is it 3 now or 4?
I know it's 3, it may be 4 already.
Provides a speeding, and is everything up to just shy of a GPS? I'm not sure. I'm not positive sure it's not a GPS. If it is a GPS, and the ODB4 will be a GPS, it is a simple algorithm that already exists to plot a geofence to see where what your usual range is, and to pop up a flag if you step outside, if you drive outside your usual range.
It's the same thing cell phones are doing today.
Yeah. I'm really not happy about this, and you got the government. We'll never do that. Horse shit. I'm really not. They're already using automated license plate recognition systems for probable cause to search your vehicle, which really set my teeth on edge when I caught one of our corporals doing it.
Yes, Sarah, the right to work gives the unions the right to ignore the state's right to work laws. Yes, that is still in the new bill. Yeah, it's there.
The Supreme Court is going to be busy.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of that crap is blatantly not constitutional.
Hey, Sanford, here you've been doing a little busy work up there where you are right now. Yeah, Sarah, it's going to be a lawsuit waiting to happen in more ways than one.
Multiple lawsuits.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of lawsuits, did you hear what happened to those idiot professors?
No.
A college, I forget what university, whatever the hell, I forget where, got really snippy with the Eighth Circuit Court. They decided to shut down religious student organizations. And when the Supreme Court caught them doing it and slapped their little paws, they went, "Oh, we're so sorry," and kept doing it.
Yeah.
Well, it went back to the Eighth Circuit. Eighth Circuit Court went, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Well, now it's our First Amendment right. They said, you got a point. It's your First Amendment right. However, qualified immunity no longer applies.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of professors went, "What?"
Yeah.
The Eighth Circuit canceled their qualified immunity. They can now be sued individually.
Outstanding.
There's going to be a whole bunch of screaming.
Well, the government is teaching people, quote, quote, how to do this because, the feds overturned or stopped them from stopping selling oil and gas leases.
Okay.
They put a moratorium on that,
right,
and directed the government to start selling them again. They haven't sold a single one yet.
No, they're looking at it.
Yeah. And that's going back to the court this week or next week.
I'm seriously considering starting a petition for amendment to transfer the United States Marshal Service from the executive branch to the judicial branch. Put them under control of the Supreme Court.
Oh, yes.
Take them away from the executive, put them under the Supreme Court, and turn them loose.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Have a Supreme Court justice write an arrest warrant, and nobody be able to tell them no.
Yeah, including the president. Mm-hmm. The other thing I wanted to, and Jesse likes that idea. I wanted to talk about for a minute is inflation rates. I know math is not necessarily all of our Wayne, the state of Texas and ATF argument over the Texas-made suppressors is interesting.
Oh, that's getting vicious too.
Yeah, but that one's not going to go anywhere until it goes to court.
Yeah.
So regardless of what they say back and forth, until it ends up in court, it's pretty much a moot point at this point. I would not, you know, and I like suppressors and I have suppressors. Would not buy a Texas-made suppressor based on the interpretation of that
I
law.
wouldn't be making suppressors in Texas right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, to be quite honest.
No.
Not that we know anybody that used to do that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Sanford, that's the point. Inflation, and especially in the housing market, what they're doing is the big businesses, big corporations are coming in and buying houses out from under people. They are paying premium cost for houses, not to tear them down and rebuild them, not to resell them, but to rent them.
Rent them out.
And what they're doing is they're charging rents that are just unbelievable.
These are big national level corporations too.
Yeah, and they are active all over the United States.
They're buying up entire housing
Developments
in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these folks going, don't do it. Just don't sell these idiots.
Yeah. Yeah. When you dump free money in the economy, it's going to cause inflation. And speaking of that, the amount that inflation is up by is, for the 12-month adjusted, 5.4, although it's already gone up to 5.8 based on July. And among other things, gasoline is up 44 or 45.1%.
At least.
Fuel oil is up 44.5. Energy commodities, i.e. POL across the spectrum, is up 44.2%. Utility service, gasoline is up 15.6 there, propane natural gas. This is the one, getting back to the vehicles thing. Used cars and trucks are up 45.2% in the last 12 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Food is up month to month average. Total over the last 12 months, 2.4%. Over the last 4 months, 2.1%, just the last 4 months. So food costs are going through the roof.
This fall, if things don't straighten out, if I can't get a shot at Rupert, I'm taking a fall.
Yeah.
I gotta get some ice in the freezer. That's just.
Yeah. Well, part of it's because there are no new cars available. But the other part is, remember the Obamacare plan to get all the junkers off the road?
Yeah.
Well, that worked real well. They took affordable cars off the road.
Yes, they did.
So what they've done is force people into these much more expensive cars. You used to buy a car for $500. Granted, it was not going to be your nice car that you would drive all over the place, but it would get you to and from work, and
To and from the grocery store.
to and from a grocery store. Well, now the median price for a used vehicle, an old, quote, old used vehicle, is $3,000 to $5,000.
I was talking at the beginning of the show about finding a 1993 Ford Bronco. You know how hard that is?
Yeah.
They used to be everywhere.
Yep. Of course, they also had a hell of a rust problem.
Yeah, but under the cash for clunkers, people
Yeah.
are turning their 93 Ford Broncos for
$250,
$200.
$500.
Geez, bloody hell.
Yeah. Koala says, gasp, what free money? Isn't free stuff, available? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Cedar, that's very, very possible that people will die in New England this winter because they can't afford to pay for the heating oil. Yeah.
I'm not sure we're not fixing to have a repeat of last winter this year.
Yeah.
Here in Texas.
And Richard says it really doesn't matter. The sun burps hard, we're going to be charcoal, but that's true too.
It's been true from the dawn of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Wayne, when you were a youngster and weren't delivering pizzas, you brought in 500 every 6 months. Scrap and repeat. Bought a $500 one every 5 or 6 months. Scrap and repeat. Yeah.
A lot of them used to do that.
Yeah. So I went a different way back in the 60s. I actually mowed yards and paid $300 in 65 for a 1963 Corvette Monza Spider for $300.
Hmm.
And I hung on to that one for a couple of years.
I went by the Ford house a while ago, looking at getting another vehicle. What the hell? Go by Ford and look at their new Ford Ranger. And the guy at Ford house told me they're looking at transitioning from dealer to going to a dealer, picking a car off the lot, to building it on the Ford webpage and have it delivered to the dealer and picking it up there.
Yeah.
That's gotta suck.
Well,
apparently that's what the kids these days want.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sanford makes a good point. Money's free for those who suck the government tit.
It's not
just costs
free.
those of us who are trying to take care of ourselves. We're paying the bills.
Oh yeah. There is nothing free from the government. It's always somebody's tax dollars.
Yeah. Sir Brass says that's a feature, not an inducement, and it's an inducement to get on the dole. Yeah, it is. The problem is, I remember free cheese, literally free cheese back in the 60s.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah, the old government 5-pound block of cheese that you could go down and get once a month.
Mm-hmm. And we feed a family of 5.
Yeah. We ate that. We raised our own food. We raised our own animals, including that one year that we had friggin' quail. I don't ever want to see a quail again.
I love quail. After I've blown,
you can have every one of those little son
after
bitches.
I've blown the feathers off his little butt.
Yeah, peanut butter, bread and butter. Well, the peanut butter was
disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm not a big peanut butter fan.
You had to stir the peanut butter. I remember that.
Constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, Sir Brass, when I was growing up, my dad had a good job. My mother didn't work. We were not that well off. I'll be perfectly honest. I mean, and after my dad died when I was 9, we had some hard times there. But we managed to make ends meet and had enough to buy a little house up in Texarkana. And, I basically started working when I was about 11 years old mowing yards. My mother went to work for the school district, and we had a couple of rental houses that we managed. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is the worst job in the world, is having rental houses. Some people love it. I made that mistake once after I got in the military, where I had a place and I rented it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it cost me $7,000 to repair the damage done by the renters.
Not only that, but you wind up on the hook.
Yeah.
In our litigious, lawsuit-happy society. Same reason I won't ever own a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Is it's a lawsuit looking for a place to happen.
Yeah.
Rental houses, no, and especially these days, anybody who thought of ever being a landlord, should take a look at the eviction moratorium and wipe that thought right out of their tiny little heads. Well,
my neighbor 2 doors down is getting ready to fill his pool in because he's scared of lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a high fence.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so
you can have 14 feet of concertina wire for 8 feet of ankle tangler.
Yeah.
And the little bastards will find a way over it and drown themselves in your pool, and it's still your fault.
Yeah.
You look at and tell the judge, look, there's 14 feet of concertina wire. There's another, 8 feet of tangle foot. There's Doberman pinchers and a moat full of gators, and they still got in and drowned themselves, and it'll still be your fault for the attractive nuisance.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the key point, attractive nuisance. No, you can't even get a squatter evicted now.
Nope.
Yeah. And Jesse brings up an excellent point. Speaking of which, since when is sure it's illegal, but I'm doing it anyway, a legitimate response to SCOTUS?
Never.
Never. So,
Again, need to transfer the United States Marshal Service
yeah.
over to the judicial branch and turn them loose.
Rapture's plans as supreme dictator. Stop it. You worry me sometimes, Raptor. You really do. Of course, I'm more worried about some of the redheads that we know. Oh, talk about scary.
Speaking of, had an interesting trip to the doctor yesterday. Like my doctor, a little no nonsense. He's got 3 nurse practitioners. Love every one of them. The thing is, I've noticed is that when Rita goes in there, they're all sweetness and light. I go in there, they walk in carrying a clipboard, and go, "Oh, you're not dead yet." Well, what have you done this time?
Yeah.
So I sit down and I tell my tale of woe to the nurse practitioner. For those of you who don't know, I fainted Sunday morning. And she said, "Well, let's look at your test results." Well, let's see here. According to what we just talked about, on Friday, you went 30 hours on 30 minutes of sleep. Saturday, you got probably heat exhaustion. Now, looking back over your chart, you've had multiple heat traumas in the past. I went, wait a minute. She said, at least 3 that you'll admit to, and you should have been in the hospital on every one of them. All right. Okay, fine. She said, your electrolytes are off and you're dehydrated. And you fainted. She looked at me and goes, weird. I looked at her and said, Doc, that sounds a little cynical. If I was cynical, I'd be a little sarcastic. She went,
Yeah.
You're getting a steroid cocktail. Don't argue with me. Yes, ma'am.
Sir Brass, actually, there has been no. This is on the eviction moratorium extension. There has been no suit filed yet with the Supreme Court to find out whether or not it actually is legal. There are a bunch of landlords that are trying to get some lawyer to take it, but right now they haven't found one. So, yes, the administration shopped constitutional legal scholars until they found one who finally said, yeah.
Lawrence Tribe, by the way.
Yeah. Is that who it was?
That's who it was,
Oh,
Lawrence
God.
Tribe.
Because everybody else
went, whoa, you can't do that.
That they talked to said, oh, hell no, that's illegal, unconstitutional.
You can't, it violates the takings clause. You cannot, the government is just taken private property without compensation.
Yep. Yep. Thomas Jefferson, you're right, Raptor. In relation to SCOTUS ruling on a national bank. Yep. That is why we have no national bank in the United States.
Well, going back to trying to find a lawyer to sue.
Yeah.
Half of me has to wonder, given the politically charged or the politics drummed up by some of the administration, if every lawyer out there is going, if I take this case, I'm going to be doxxed, called a Nazi, and I want poor people to be evicted to die on the street. Hell no, my personal life's not taking this hit. I ain't touching it.
Yeah. Wallace says, I missed the class that said CDC made all of our laws. Yeah, that's another good one.
I missed the class that CDC made any laws.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the last class I took said the only people who made laws, period, is the legislation branch.
Yeah. Raptor says, so I did remember something from AP US government. Yeah. And he says, I'm sure teacher is not pleased she turned full on commie a few years back. Oh, And she's a former Marine, ex-Marine in her case. Damn.
Well, as we've seen, military service is no guarantee of somebody,
Sanity.
yeah, somebody getting right in the think box.
Yeah, I've encountered that with some of the people that I flew with that I thought knew better,
Me too.
and obviously did not. I love how they're throwing up photos of Cuomo kissing men and saying this is his justification because he's Italian. That's the way he's always done it. That just doesn't fly.
Well, okay, there's a simple test. If Donald J. Trump had kissed that many people, of those exact people, in that exact way at those exact times, would have been okay.
Oh, hell no.
All right, then.
You know
Fuck
that
'em.
as well as I do.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
25 minutes, 40 seconds.
Oh, we've already cussed.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah. JimJim is not with us today. He's not feeling all that great, so he's sleeping.
I think I gave him a summer cold.
Yeah. She was a rational Democrat when it took class. Bugnut's crazy about time. Yeah, that happens. We've been given. Yeah, that's the real problem, Wayne, is, I have a pen and a telephone.
That's the thing of executive orders.
Are not laws.
Are supposed to be limited in scope to directions to the executive branch. The president, being chief of the executive branch, has to be able to tell the executive branch, this is what you're going to do, make it so.
Yeah.
That is an executive order. The simple fact that not only has society as a whole decided that executive order actually means law is beside the point. And despite the fact the media would like us to believe that the president makes law.
Well, and when you get federal judges that will uphold them, remember the whole thing with Obama and Trump trying to cancel them, and federal judge, Democrat, going, oh, no, you can't cancel it. That's
DACA, which was an executive order
Yep.
with the weight of law, and it's stupid.
Sir Brass, his wife, can attest to female Marines being on the left side of the spectrum. She's one of the minority of female Marines who is as conservative as many male Marines. Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
No, Jesse, we didn't elect a king, although the media seems to think so.
I swear to God, the vast majority of people cry out for a king.
Yeah.
Human beings apparently need somebody to give them orders. I don't know why. It blows my mind. But near as I can tell, the vast majority, at least the Proto-Europeans on the east and left coast, cry out for a sovereign to kneel to.
Yeah.
Oh God, Mr. President, lead us.
Yeah.
And we saw it, oh my God, with Obama. He was the anointed God king, for God's sake.
You look at Marxism and communist philosophy, the great leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the media, which is 99%, even Fox News, East and Left Coast, used to speak of Obama in terms that Southern Baptists refer to Christ in.
Yeah.
It used to drive me nuts. I don't give a damn. He's nothing but our elected servant.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the light bringer.
Yeah.
I know he's not. He's a damned human being with all the foibles and most of the flaws that's engendered in the species.
Yeah, which were all covered up.
Oh, yeah.
Try to find anything on Obama's past. You're not going to do it.
And not to say that there aren't scandals there. There's not a human being alive that doesn't have some really juicy scandals in a closet.
Oh, yeah.
But the media won't do their damn jobs, which in Obama's case is...
They will only do it if they have an R after their name.
Boy, that's no lie.
Yeah, Sir Brass makes an excellent point. Israelites cried out for a king, and it turned out rather badly for them. That it did.
I don't want a king. My people have taken the neck from kings. We have bent the knee before. we get screwed every time we're not doing it again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not doing it again. I don't care about the rest of my McMurtry's. I am not been to the knee. It took not a collar, no crown is more than just a motto.
Yeah. Yeah. Raptor. Ian called a black man a servant racist. Yeah, whatever. And he goes, fuck off.
I hate to break news to you.
Yeah.
When we were in Africa, I had a lot of black servants.
Yeah. Saul was not a good king. You were correct on that, Sir Brass. And yes, God told him, you really don't want that.
No,
and Raptor goes, that's what my army of minions is for. Will be for. Raptor's on a roll.
Yeah, Raptor is. Make me king. See how fast I aggressively leave everybody the hell alone.
Yeah. That, I think, is one of the reasons that Queen Elizabeth is so beloved in England.
Because she's paws off.
She is paws off.
Yeah. Can't say much about her ancestors. They screwed my ancestors over pretty thoroughly multiple times. Burnt the family mansion to the ground twice.
Yeah. And Raptor's bored at work. That's why he's on the road. Well, it must be nice to have a mansion. I've never had a mansion. None of my family ever
It's a rubble now because the damn Brits burnt it down twice.
You know, they always talk about heraldry and how you go back and find your family escutcheon, shield, whatever you want to call it. A few years ago, I was playing around digging in some of that. And I found out that the Curtis family has 3 different ones.
That's not a surprise.
Like, wonder which one of these is actually correct.
My family from the distaff side is from Robert the Bruce, one of his daughters.
Yeah.
And before we got bent over and thoroughly used by the Brits, we were a clan of our own. And after that, we became a sept or subclan of Stuart of Bute.
Yeah.
One of the royal stewards. And it's a strong sticking point with a bunch of us.
Wayne says, Ian, be honest, you know your folks picked the fight.
And your point being?
Oh, yeah, Sanford, her descendants look to be horrible even by royal standards. William's got a chance.
William is not bad.
Yeah.
Harry,
yeah. He's shot himself in both feet and the head.
And the dick, apparently.
Yeah. Well, thinking with the wrong head, but that's beside the point.
He's only gets to think when Megan lets him borrow his nuts out of her purse again.
Oh, God. Sam Kennison.
Oh, God. Ugh.
I will never forget that routine.
Sam Kennison. Wow. For a Reformed Baptist preacher. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Honey, can I have my dick and balls? All the other guys are getting theirs tonight.
Oh, hello.
We have Obi.
We might have a moving JimJim.
Yeah.
I hear a grunt.
Yeah. George III was called the finest gentleman in England by our founding fathers. And they weren't damning by faint praise either. Yeah. Yeah. Sanford goes, whenever I hear someone tracing ancestry back centuries, I always admire their belief in their ancestors' faithfulness. Yeah.
Oh, no, I've had the DNA test.
Yeah. Move to where the food is. Yeah.
Clan McMurtry did a massive private DNA. And apparently we had better than average faithfulness on the distaff line. Kind of shocking. The Y chromosome was pretty
healthy all the way
Pretty healthy all the way back.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got most of the documentation from our family, and by default, I have become the keeper of the documentation, so I'm now trying to expand it.
Oh, trust me, if you lose it, go shake down the Mormon church. They've got it somewhere.
Wayne said he was still preaching when he died. His family traveled tent revivalists would set up outside the church to refill the coffers and infuse the church with fee. Mad respect. Actually, a couple of my relatives were preachers,
I don't know that I've got any preachers in my family tree.
including two that happened to fight in the Revolutionary War, a father and son who fought with the Swamp Fox.
Yeah.
And later went to Mississippi. Actually, that's a rather interesting story of how they got to Mississippi because they wanted to get away. So they had to take the long route because there was still unrest in Georgia.
Mhm.
So they went from South Carolina up, across, and down to get to Mississippi and founded a township there, which is no longer existent. But they also ran afoul of the Mexican uh, provincial governor because Richard was Baptist.
Oh dear.
Yes. And they apparently were suggested to leave Mississippi because he married a couple under the Baptist faith.
Oh noes.
Yeah. So that's how we ended up in Louisiana. Been there a while. And still have the land. And we're now in the sixth, seventh generation. And we still can't get rid of the goddamn McWilliamses. Still marrying into that family, or out of that family, or whatever you want to call it. But we've got a graveyard down there that's Addisons, Gandys, Curtises, and McWilliams are probably 95% of the people in that graveyard.
Oh
yeah. Sanford goes, I've had preachers. Mostly I've had lawyers and horse thieves in alternating generations. I hang my shame at having that many lawyers in the family tree. We shifted from preachers to doctors. And of course, military service has been a historic thing in the family going forward. So, but it's interesting to track it back. My cousin did most of the work before he died, and his daughter kind of dumped it on me. It's like, oh, thank you. May I have another? Sir Brass, that will be interesting to find out how much cross connection is. Oh,
cross connection to what?
Cuomo resigned today? He's supposed to resign in 14 days.
So he resigned effective 14 days, last I heard.
Now, Raptor just said, holy crap, Cuomo just resigned. This is not a drill. Did he pull the plug today?
This is going to be interesting.
Sir Brass goes, so, kind of funny how ignorant of my ancestry became a Reformed Baptist after departing the Episcopal Church. Yeah, well, we've been Baptist since Christ was a corporal, just about. I guess going back to England was one of the reasons we left England.
I think you can pretty much track heathens through mine all the way back to when we were kicking the Romans back over the wall.
Yeah. Well, just because you were standing on Hadrian's Wall going, come on, son.
Come on. Don't know what a helicopter is, but we're helicoptering.
Yeah. He submitted this resignation today, effective the 20th.
Effective 14 days.
All right. Yes, sir. Sanford, are those lawyers still hanging there today? We did have one sad incident where one relative was a sheriff and the other relative was a horse thief, and the sheriff hung the horse thief.
It happens.
Turned out to be his cousin.
We have that one black sheep, General David McMurtry Gregg, fought on the Union side. It was a terrible scandal.
Jeremiah Rux, yeah. Sanford goes, mine were good lawyers, never got caught. You know, the thing is, in all honesty, we are what we make ourselves out to be. You know, each of us comes up influenced by the lives that we have, how we were raised, where we were raised, how well off or how poorly off we were. And that drives us to either succeed or fail on our own merits. And I think that's kind of a common stroke for a lot of us.
Family philosophy was driven home pretty hard by my dad as I was growing up. The Not so much the stories he told, but just his expectations. And I still remember my dad telling me man ought to kill his own snakes.
Yeah, yeah,
And it wasn't. I forget, something had happened, and he was some leader did something. I don't remember where we were. I just remember my dad looking at me and saying, "Son, man ought to kill his own snakes."
yeah.
And he had a point.
I got taught how to do that really young.
You
Sanford goes, one got poisoned by his wife, and she didn't get
He
caught
wasn't that
either.
good.
Yeah. Answer, Your Honor.
Dad, he taught me that some people need killing.
Yeah.
A long time before I came to Texas, and he always told me that if it needs to be done, do it quick.
Yeah.
It's nothing to shirk. When it needs to be done, don't shirk it, but don't drag it out. Just get it over with and move on. Which is a workmanlike job of looking at things, but was good.
Yeah.
And I think, despite my 50-something years of life, the fact I have such low levels of PTSD, despite my back history, is a good part of what my dad taught me.
Oh yeah. Well, that and you grew up early seeing life as it was.
Mhm.
You didn't get things sugarcoated to you.
No.
That's, I think, part of the problem with a lot of the kids today, and a lot of the adults, quite honestly. They've never seen life up close and personal.
I haven't seen the dirty parts of it. That's
No.
for darn sure.
No. Sir Brass says, what do you call a lawyer with an IQ equal to his hat size? Senator. Sanford goes, can we go to the Lone Star Planet law? He needed killing. I wish.
That's still a fairly active defense in some Texas grand juries, particularly out in West Texas.
Yeah. Or the one in Fort Worth
No kidding.
when they stoned the guy to death a couple of months ago. Oh, and Sir Brass says, my wife is a lawyer. I collect jokes about him.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's got to be interesting. Oh, I do have to tell one funny story when I was a kid, though. You talk about snakes. We lived in central Louisiana, so a lot of snakes down there. And we had a swamp on one side, had a 3-acre backyard, and railroad track, and then at the far end of the backyard was the pumping station for interstate oil pipeline. So, as a kid, I'm running around the backyard. Well, I'd already been taught about snakes because swamp, snakes, Louisiana, rattlesnakes, black snakes, king snakes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Snakes.
Snakes, yeah. Snakes in the hen house, not fun. So I caught a banded king snake one time. And it was about 2 feet long. I was probably about 6 years old. Happy with my snake that I can play with. And I will pet it and do all the, let it wrap around on. Well, Mama was having a garden club meeting one day. And I walked into the living room with a snake wrapped around my arm. If you've ever seen a banded king snake, it's the same colors as a coral snake.
Just in the wrong pattern.
Except backwards on a pattern. And one of the women screamed. And I threw the snake. I remember women up in the chairs, one woman on the table, my mother cussing me the first time I remember actually cussing me, going, find the snake. And I'm going, I don't know where it went.
Find it.
That was the last time my mother ever hosted a garden club meeting. And it took 2 days to find the damn snake. That son of a bitch was hid in the couch under a cushion in the car.
Hell yes.
It was going, thinking, I don't know what's going on, but I'm out of here.
Screaming hairless apes running everywhere. I'm going somewhere safe.
Red touch black. Yep.
Red touch black, venom black. Red touch yellow, kills a fellow.
Yep.
I have a testimony to the effectiveness of Hatch Kevlar line gloves.
Yeah.
Because Chris and I, we were cleaning out the old family mansion in Electra. And neighbor next door started screaming. Go running over there, and she's got a bull snake cornered. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I put on my Kevlar search gloves, pick it up, said, look, it's a bull snake. What are you? And then it struck. And I'm looking at this baby rattleless rattlesnake with the fangs in the Kevlar. I went, damn it. And fast pitch Jake no shoulders. And my little brother went past me and won the leap with a machete and went all Ginsu Viking on it. And there were 40 or 50 pieces of that thing, most of which were still twitching.
Yeah. Yeah. Youngest daughter's husband had been in a running battle with about a 3-foot rattlesnake at work. He works for the county out in California, a water plant. He finally got it. So I get this picture of him holding very proudly this 3-foot long rattlesnake. He brought it home, cooked it up for the kids.
Rattlesnake's not bad.
Yeah, tastes like chicken. Just long and round.
Why is it that everything tastes like chicken except eggs?
That's a good question.
While we're thinking about weird things.
Yeah. Oh, Wayne says that Democratic Texas district judge that issued the injunction stopping the rest of the Dems who fled to Texas, Supreme Court pounced on it and said, oh, yes, they can arrest them.
Not only can they, they're required to.
Yeah.
Oh, for those of you who don't know, there's a very quiet movement to amend the Texas Constitution to add an amendment saying that if you leave the state to shirk your duty during session,
yeah,
that you immediately forfeit your seat.
Yeah.
And since it's an amendment, it will be voted on by the people, and the legislature has no power over it.
Yeah.
You might have heard that the Texas Dems are coming back to Texas.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Except for the ones that are in Portugal on vacation.
Apparently they got called and told to get their asses on a plane now.
Oh, Sir Brass says, rattlesnake decided to sun itself on our porch right across the threshold. Oh, lovely. Shovel did the deed quite nicely. Yep.
I've never seen my brother move so fast in my life.
I've seen a little old Papa San over in Cameron Bay going after a bamboo viper that was being held by Red Wallenring because he thought it was a garter snake, and he picked it up. The only place I've ever been there, I saw a sign that said, keep off the dirt.
That's where the vipers hang out.
Well, they would get down in the sand where it was cool.
Yep. There were nothing to see, they could ambush it.
Well, not only that, but we had ammo pallets for walkways.
Mm-hmm.
So you did never cut across.
No.
But yeah, he comes on the back of that hangar with that little snake just at a dead run going, it's a garter snake, it's a garter snake. And we're all going, no, it's not.
Well,
and Papa San coming around swinging the shovel.
People freak out because I tell a story about a time that we handed my mother a jam jar with what we thought was a green mamba. We caught this vine snake. We swore it was a green mamba because we'd read somewhere that Gerald Durrell did not have a green mamba. So we found a mamba, about an 8-inch.
Yeah.
Got it in a jam jar, took it to Mom, who goes, oh my God. And Dad goes, I think it's a vine snake. Look, no fangs. Like, damn it, son. No, you can't go find a mamba. No, we can find them everywhere.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to grab a mamba.
Yeah. And Sarah goes, what? No unmasked photo off of the plane trip back? And no, not yet.
Oh, they got raked over the coals for that crap.
Yeah.
This little stunt of theirs has backfired on them pretty hard.
Yes, it has. Plus, they never got to talk to Obama. Never got to talk to Biden.
Oh, shucks.
Regardless of what Beto O'Rourke, the fake Mexican out of El Paso, was pushing them to do, he was their cheerleader and apparently their paymaster.
Goodness.
Yeah, what a surprise.
I love the lawsuit they filed against Abbott.
Yeah.
And Abbott's going, oh boy, a lawsuit that you have to come back to Texas in order to appeal in court for. And they're going, oh shit. Hadn't thought about that part.
Yeah. The raptor goes, Ian, how the hell did you survive childhood?
Ask me again in about 10 years. Had malaria 7 times, Lassa fever or West African hemorrhagic fever at least twice.
Yeah.
Monkeypox. I've been bitten by snakes unknown. Oh, it's just I had really good immune system.
Yeah.
And a father that would go, look us crawling out from the meteor and go, I saw Buddy, very cool.
Yeah.
Rather than freaking out.
Sanford says, survival training, Fort Benning, Colorado Snake. The guy was partnered with was occasion. Funny thing with her actually, some of the trainees, we found out we were eating snake.
What the hell is wrong with eating snake?
Nothing. We got caught, Sanford, for your information, doing the same thing out in California in January, going through SEER training in the Navy, because me and an old boy from Oklahoma found a hole with snakes in it, and we grabbed one.
Oh, look, pantry.
Yeah, and brought it back, and we're getting ready to cook it, and the instructor showed up and went, hell? No, you can't do that. It's food. We're going to have snake. No, you can't do that. They're protected. And we both looked at him and went, what?
This one isn't.
Yeah. Some bitch made us go put it back.
Jungle training was nothing.
Jungle training in the Philippines was fun.
It was fun. It wasn't anything because the jungle training I got in Africa started out with we ate a roast baboon. And then we left the roast baboon out on a table under the sunshine until it started to rot. And we boiled it and ate it again. Just to prove that you could make rotted meat edible once.
Yeah.
The instructors told us very, very calmly, don't do this twice.
Yeah.
And then, what the hell's American jungle training going to show me? Oh, look, palm grubs, yum.
Yeah.
I gotta eat snake? Oh, darn.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's armadillo. Yes, you can cook it. Let me show you how. I was a massive disappointment to a bunch of instructors in Panama.
There needs to be an army reg that Cajuns automatically get made cooked. Yeah.
Or Filipinos.
Or Filipinos. Filipinos make a hell of a chef.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, we might have been known for eating a few things that were a little bit outside the regs. And I'll never forget going through just in the Philippines, and a little Negrito instructor showed up. All of about 4'9", loincloth and a machete. And that was it. And a grin.
Yeah, about right.
And he, in a very Filipino accent, you come with me now. Oh boy.
Abandon hope, all ye who enter here.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, it's American jungle surviving wasn't anything. I told the instructor, the instructor at the end of it and said, what the hell? I said, I grew up in Africa.
Yeah.
Staff sergeant. I mean, you could have fucking told us that. You could have read the file.
Oh, yeah. How many times have you done something in the military where they didn't read the file?
Most of them.
Yeah.
Like when I got all of my shots all over again, even the ones that they said, don't ever get this shot again.
Yeah.
Army gave it to me again because they didn't read my shot record.
Yeah. Sanford goes, hillbillies might make with good cooks too. They're used to using cheap ingredients. And yes, Tom Kratman has had a few things to say about jungle training. Tom, bless his heart, did 2 tours in Panama, I think.
I think they restricted him to 2 tours in Panama.
Well, he did marry his lady love from Panama.
Yes,
She's
he
a
did.
beautiful lady.
She's easy on the eye.
Still remember him telling about her wanting to pose for Playboy.
Yeah. Damn.
No, honey, because I don't want to look at your picture hanging in the lockers when I go in doing it.
That would be kind of rough.
Yeah.
I like Tom. He's scary as hell, but I like him.
Yeah. No, we're not doing a hunting anthology, Sanford. Stop
Why
it.
the hell would we do a hunting? There's no way you can make a short story or multiple short stories out of hunting.
No, we're not like the left. You know, we go out, we shoot, we can bring it home. Done.
I can write 100 or maybe 500 words about the glories of watching the sun come up just before you whack Bambi's mom.
Yeah.
But it's like, nobody wants to read that.
No. You know, if you want to read hunting stories, go read some of the stories from the African hunters back in the 1890s.
Peter Capstick's books. Get
Yeah.
Peter Capstick's books or Caramojo Bell's books.
Yeah.
Or Jose Ortega y Gasset, some of his
Yeah.
philosophy books. Those are good hunting stories.
Caramojo Bell's life story is hilarious.
That guy was not wired to spit.
No.
Oh, look, I'm being charged by an elephant. I will step to the side and pop him behind the ear as he goes by with a 7mm.
Yeah.
Really did.
Oh,
really,
even better was his stories about flying.
no gun.
Yeah, he definitely was not wrong.
I can write super shorts. I can write 100 or 500 word story about hunting, but short stories start at 5,000 words, guys. I feel guilty when I don't do an 8,000 word short story.
Yeah.
This last short I did for it came from the trailer park was what, 3,000?
Yeah.
And I feel guilty as hell about turning it in.
Koala goes, they devolve into awkward cookbooks. Well, you know, Koala, that's the difference between a southern zoo and a northern zoo.
The recipes?
Yeah, the southern zoo's all got the recipes there with what it is. Not saying I've ever seen that. No,
I don't know that Rita will ever go to a zoo with me again. Because I think it was Fort Worth or the Dallas Zoo that, oh my God, we gotta go to the zoo. So we went to the zoo. I said, look, honey, a warthog. Yeah, they taste like crap. What? Nothing. Oh,
Yeah.
look, impala. Good with barbecue sauce. What? Nothing.
Yeah.
Kudu, hard as hell. You need to cook them a lot. Baby, I'm sorry. I'm from
Jerry.
Africa. How does it taste?
Yeah. Jerry says, Bell might be the most interesting man alive during his lifetime. Yeah, that's very possibly true.
Robert Rourke.
Yeah, well, one of the two of them, because they were both really interesting.
I could write well.
Yeah. Now, the funny part, you talk about things that they didn't bother to check the record on. I was a Mustang coming up through the military, so I'd gotten sent back to the squadron I had left earlier. And I had been in tactics a little bit too long because they didn't like low-ranking officers being on the boards for high-ranking officers. So they were going to pull me out of there and give me something that I had never done. So the maintenance officer calls me in and goes, well, we're going to give you something you've never done in your career. We're going to make you the airframes division officer.
Oh, noes.
And I busted out laughing. And I turned around and walked out. If Bob had bothered to read my records when I came in the Navy, I was a metalsmith. So I went in and I rearranged the division to do what we needed to do, fired an E8, put a female E4 in charge of night check, and they worked off over 200 gripes in 61 days. Yeah. Give me something I didn't know how to do. Right.
Whatever.
Of course, the military is good for that shit.
Yeah, they never read your file. They got it right there. They
Yeah.
look at it and they say, oh, look, pretty words. And then they go and do what they're going to do anyway.
That's a good point, Sanford. What was the greatest game other than a hunting story? Yeah.
Yeah, but you only read that once.
Yeah.
You either rewrite it? No.
Jesse goes, they still have the giant blue macaw by the front exit. The Dallas Zoos.
Barbecue sauce, slow roast in the oven.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, we've wasted another hour of your time. Thank you very much for putting up with us today and putting up with the schedule change. It was not intentional. It's just we got appointments that have to be taken care of today. But we'll be back Thursday at our regular time, which is noon.
Which is noon on Thursday.
Yeah. So y'all have a good week, and don't get overheated. Don't be stupid like Ian was.
Yes.
And be safe. And remember, don't sweat the petty stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Be safe, guys.
And there's a lot of stuff out there sweaty today.
No kidding.